Class, you learned how to solve systems of equations by substitution. So if you take a look at the problem below, this is actually problem F on your homework. We're going to kind of go step by step through how to solve this system. So notice in class, our first step was always to check, do we have at least one equation that is x equals or y equals? And looking at my two equations here, I notice that I don't have that in either case. So I'm actually going to have to do this first step. So I'm going to take this first equation, x minus 2y equals 5, and I want to solve it for x so that I have an x equals equation that I can use for substitution. Okay? So notice here I'm going to add 2y to both sides. That cancels it from this side, and I'm left with just x. And I get that x equals 5 plus 2y. Now that I have x equals 5 plus 2y, I can use this new equation and the second equation that I had originally and solve the substitution using that. So my new equations I'm going to use are x equals 5 plus 2y and 3x plus 2y equals negative 1. So remembering in substitution, I know that x equals 5 plus 2y, and I'm going to be able to substitute that expression in for x in my other equation. So once I do that, I get 3 times, instead of x, I'm going to put 5 plus 2y. Then I'm going to add 2y, and that's going to equal negative 1. From here, all I'm going to do is simplify, solve, and solve for y. So I'm going to distribute my 3, and I'm going to get 15 plus 6y plus 2y equals negative 1. Let's combine like terms on the same side and get 15 plus 8y equals negative 1. I'm going to now start solving for y, so I'm going to subtract 15 on both sides. I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to get 8y equals negative 16. And then I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides, and I'm going to get that y equals negative 2. Well, remember, when I'm solving a system, I need an ordered pair x comma y. So I'm going to take my y value and I'm going to plug it into another equation to solve for my x. So I'm going to choose the equation x equals 5 plus 2y to plug into. But now I know that x equals 5 plus 2. We just solved for y, so I'm going to plug in a negative 2 and get that x equals 5. Well, 2 times a negative 2 is a negative 4. So that gives me that x equals 5 minus 4 is 1. And I can write that as the point x equals 1, y equals negative 2, or together as an ordered pair, saying 1 comma negative 2. And that is how you do problem F on your homework. Now, maybe you're having trouble with letter G, which is y equals 3x plus 4 and negative 12x plus 4y equals 16. Okay, notice that this is actually one less step from the previous problem because I already have one of my variables solved for. I have a y equals. So notice I know that y equals 3x plus 4. So I'm going to take that 3x plus 4 and I'm going to substitute it in for the y in my other equation. So I'm going to get y equals, negative 12x plus 4 times, instead of y, I'm going to plug in 3x plus 4, and that's going to equal 16. And again, now I can just simplify and solve for x. So let's distribute the 4, and I'm going to get negative 12x plus 12x plus 16 equals 16. Oh, this is really interesting. Notice here when I combine like terms, well, negative 12x plus 12x, that's actually 0. Those are going to cancel. and I'm going to be left with just 16 equals 16. Well, if my variables disappeared here, I want to really look at this equation that I'm left with. You want to ask yourself, well, does 16 equal 16? This is a true equation. So actually, my answer here is going to be infinitely many solutions. All pairs, x and y, work in this system. There are infinitely many solutions, which remember, we learned from class means these two equations are actually the same exact line. All right, well, I hope that helps, and if you finish the rest of the homework, I will see you in class on next Monday, I think, or Tuesday. All right, have a great night. Bye.